Howdy. My name is Derek William Sturm, and this is my book, Will of the Wisps. I am not a professional voice actor, but I am the author. Will of the Wisps is not yet published. It is a YA novel intended to be the first of a series. Please share and enjoy. Chapter 15. Mia. I'm inventing a new kind of gymnastics. Crutchnastics. Crutch-robics? Crutch dancing? No, that's stupid. For the last hour, I've been planting the crutch in the grass and leaping up to spin on it. It's exhausting. But I'm up to 3 complete rotations, and I haven't fallen once. Kaylee's mom even let her off the hook from the rummage sale to be a good friend and keep me company. Like I'm some kind of sad sack injured person that needs hand-holding. Whatever. It means we can do Dungeons and Dragons later, and that's what matters. Franky emerges from the back door, practically glowing. "There's my favorite sister," she announces, coming over to wrap me in a very soft hug. Like I'm made of glass. But I'm fine. I mean, only the leg still hurts. And it's all covered in hard plaster, so you could hug it as hard as you want. Not that you would hug a leg, that would be weird. "Hi, Kaylee," Franky beams. "Hi," Kaylee answers, shyly. "You come out here to play with us?" I ask. "Nope. Got a date with Thomas." "The boy that's always scowling? The one with the stupid car?" "Mia, we've been over this. You have to cuff boys before the winter, or you wind up watching movies alone on the couch with only a sad, ratty Afghan to cuddle. It's science." Kaylee nods. "My cousin says the girls without boyfriends in the winter get, leprosy." Franky laughs. "Social leprosy, she means. And she's right. That's why you have to cuff them. And before someone else does." I do another spin, getting a little past 3 rotations, but not enough. It's the weight of the cast, probably. Throwing off my spinodynamics or something. Whatever. "Thomas is gross, and you're gonna be more of a leopard once everyone knows you asked him out." "Yeah," Kaylee adds. "Girls aren't supposed to ask boys out." But Franky's good mood is impossible to destroy. "Actually, sister dearest, Thomas asked me out. So there." She sticks out her tongue. "I wish I could have a boyfriend," Kaylee mumbles. "But Mom says I'm not allowed to date." I scoff, maybe a bit louder than I meant to. Well, for once she's right. Dating is for high school, maybe even college. I don't know what you see in boys. All they do is smell bad and talk about TV shows. I kick off and manage 2 rotations. "Reid doesn't smell bad," Kaylee says, looking down at the grass. "Who's Reid?" Franky asks, suddenly interested. "He likes Mia." "He does not?" Outrageous. Is Kaylee supposed to be my friend or my sister's? "He likes Jessie Nguyen. Everyone knows that. It's all the anime he watches. Reid's only into Asian girls." "I'm too fat, anyway," Kaylee adds, not even listening to me anymore. "Kaylee," Franky says, serious now, "you are not fat. You are a beautiful young woman, and you don't need to compare yourself to anyone. The world is an amazing place, and you just need to be patient. Sometimes boys need time to come around. Thomas did, and I'm going to be late if I don't get going. Love you, Mia." Franky gives me a slight kiss on the cheek and speeds away on her roadrunner legs. "I like your sister," Kaylee says. "She's pretty." She is pretty, I think. More so than yesterday. She must have spent all morning doing extra makeup and stuff to make that stupid Thomas boy happy. The things people waste their time on. "Watching?" I asked Kaylee. I'm doing it this time. 4 rotations. See if I don't. Chapter 16. Luke. There has to be a catch. Back at the diner, the excitement was contagious. I've been able to hold back making a trade, if only barely. But now, I'm glad I waited. I'm willing to accept that magic is real, but there is no such thing as a free lunch, which means there has to be a catch. You see magic every day. The fact that any of us survived the accident would qualify as a miracle 9 times out of 10. Nobody else did. The driver that rear-ended us, Jonathan Healy, according to the papers, died on impact. The truck driver we were pushed into, Nasir Obied, died after a few days in a coma. But we lived, each and every one of us, and our vehicle was in the middle of the other 2. By all rights, we should be pancakes. Miracles exist. If only because of probability, maybe, but miracles nonetheless. Foolish people would call it proof of God, but it's quite the opposite. It has to be. Because if there is truly an all-knowing white-bearded freak living in the sky, then he would be the biggest threat to the concept of morality ever conceived. The dude literally tortures people for eternity if they don't believe in him. That's messed up. No, it makes more sense that long ago, proto-dictators just made gods up to lend weight to their desire to control the masses. Instead, it's all probability. Life is here on Earth because out of each roll of the dice made by forming planets, eventually they would bounce enough to land on perfectly working systems of DNA and RNA and miraculous 3-car pileups that let a gaggle of idiotic teenagers move on with their lives as if nothing happened. Just probability. Anything that can happen will happen. Eventually. Miracles, yes. Magic, yes. But no gods. If there are no gods, there are no demons. And if there are no demons, then you can't make a deal with the devil. But all the books decorating the table in front of me say demons. In all of human history, the only myth or legend dealing with trades for mystical powers are those immortalized by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe in his Faust plays. Devils, demons, fallen angels. Ugh. I close the book in front of me. Okay, maybe I slam it. The echoes reverberate through the library in a way that is certain to... Yup. Summon the librarian. I might have to do this on the internet after all. I'm not a Luddite. I don't hate technology. Technology is fine. Mobile phones are their own miracle, in a way. But there is just something about libraries. I think more clearly here. Always have. Grace, the giant black woman who rules the stacks with an iron fist on the weekends, is looking over my morning reading. She shakes her head. Schools shouldn't be allowed to assign work like that. Sorry, Grace. What do you mean? It's religion, isn't it? Separation of church and state? You know who said that? The Constitution? Nope. Thomas Jefferson. Wrote about it in letters. Wanted it in there, but couldn't get enough votes. They weren't very religious men, the founders. Deists, mostly. The true founders, anyway. But the Continental Congress was full of a bunch of Johnny-come-latelys from the other colonies, who might have been planning a bit more institutionalized religion. Grace has always been like a second mother to me. Or first father, maybe. We didn't have books around the house growing up. None now, come to think of it, except for whatever I brought in. But I know Mom has it hard enough paying for rent and food. Still, though, it helps that the library is only a few blocks from my house. Another little miracle. Though, rationally speaking, if the library hadn't been close to my house, I would probably be a different person than I am today. She leans over the table, making it creak with the weight of her hand. The bait of Satan. The strategy of Satan. Outwitting the devil. All demons. What kind of project is this anyway? Well, it's not for school. Better not be. It's like, Grace, you know Faust? Sure. She hooks a chair with her heel and slides it over. The pumps put her over 6 feet. Easy. I guess she would make a lot of guys feel small, but I don't mind. Everyone's taller than I am. And Grace practically raised me. Before the remodel, there was a giant stuffed chair with a permanent indentation of my butt in it. It swallowed me whole. Grace used to swing by every hour or so and drop books into my lap like a bird regurgitating worms. Faust finds his life too boring and unchallenging, so he trades his soul to Mephistopheles for knowledge of more exotic pleasures. He gets a bit Hamlet, a bit Nabokov, then angels eventually intercede to save Faust's soul because of the genuine good he is able to accomplish. Themes are a bit muddled, if you ask me, but that's existentialism for you. Well, forget demons. What else would do that? What else would trade magical powers to humans? For their souls, you mean? She raises one eyebrow and smiles. No, actually for, well, other stuff. Like what? Emotions? Dreams? Freckles? I kind of fake a cough at the end. The freckle trait is somehow embarrassing to bring up. Grace doesn't make fun of me, though. Librarians are like that. They can scold you, terrify you, somehow yell at you without making a noise above a whisper, but they don't judge. I love that about libraries. You just come in and the librarians are like, "You want something? Cool. I'm into that too." She takes off her glasses and thinks. You can always tell when Grace is really thinking because she will stick the stem of her glasses into her mouth and hold it there. Doesn't chew or suck, just holds them. Even though she doesn't have to. Her glasses are already hooked to her neck with a thin silver chain. Apparently she demanded that instead of an engagement ring from her husband. Fairies, she says finally. Fairies? Yep, fairies. English, Irish, Welsh, and Scottish folklore. Also known as elves, goblins, gnomes, wee folk, little folk, fair folk, etc., etc., etc. Wait, elves and goblins are the same thing? Mythologically speaking, yes. But elves are tall and beautiful and... Tolkien. John Ronald Reuel. Lord of the Rings? Yep, he changed all that. Made some tall and beautiful, called them elves. Called the evil ones goblins and the lazy ones hobbits. Come to think of it, dwarves are the same thing. Small, hidden, mischievous creatures that can do magic and make amazing crafts. They can be helpful or harmful. Mischievous, though. Always mischievous. Not to be trusted. Dwarves are more Scandinavian, I think. Are they in Beowulf? I think there may be dwarves in Beowulf. Oh! Cobbles. Forgot that one. So, what you were telling me is that every single fantasy novel creature is based on the same legend? Except dragons. And trolls. And... She thinks for a second. Do vampires count as fantasy creatures? Maybe? Grace's glasses drop from her mouth and she leans in. What are you working on, Lukey? Usually people doing research are working from the opposite direction, coming wanting to know about elves rather than asking questions to which elf is the answer. Nothing. I just... If you could make a trade with one, a real one, would you? She snorts. What would I possibly ask for that I don't already have? Chapter 17. Franky. I took too long to ask you out, Thomas says. Not a question, or even an apology, really. He says it like he's announcing the conclusion of a long self-reflection into his failures as a human being, but one he's already forgiven himself for, which is very annoying. Who told him he could forgive himself? It's fine. I mean, okay, this is awkward. Well, why didn't you? Lee Fenton, right? You waited because I was kind of seeing Lee? He smiles. Boys are not supposed to smile when you put them on the spot like that. They're supposed to flinch and blush and look around the room for someone to swoop in and explain everything for them. He didn't even have the common decency to break eye contact. No, not Lee. I just didn't think you would be interested in someone like me, he says, finally looking away. Was I interested? I go through the checklist. Taller than me. Check. Thomas was well over 6 foot. Available on the holidays for cuddling. Check. Probably. Smells nice. Half check? He doesn't smell terrible. Just like a boy. Not an asshole. Well, lately? Check. Must like me. Double check. Must be single. This better be a check. Are you seeing anyone, like dating or whatever? I ask, suspiciously. This is my first date since middle school, he confesses. Good answer, I announce, loudly, which I immediately regret when the waiter comes up behind me with our waters. I look at the menu furiously to avoid seeing what I can only assume is a very smug expression. Thankfully, Thomas saves me by making an order for both of us. Normally, this would not be kosher. All that, and the lady will have the chicken fingers, 17th century bullshit does not fly with me. But he's just getting us a nigiri platter, chef's choice, and I so desperately don't want to interact with the waiter. Thanks, you read my mind, I say, keeping my eyes glued to the menu. We're at Mochi Mochi. Not the super expensive sushi place, because they don't even open until 4 p.m., but not the sketchy one with the rolls named after 80s celebrities either. Mochi was middle of the road, clean, cheap, and located conveniently near a free parking lot. Getting permission to use Father's car was surprisingly easy. I mean, he's always willing to see things my way more than Mother is, and he adores sticking his nose in my dating life. Once I made myself look as responsible and trustworthy as possible, he was practically throwing his car keys at me. I could have done without him sighing and monologuing about young love, but you can't have everything. So yeah, I picked up Thomas for our date. And yeah, it was weird. But he was the perfect gentleman. No gross machismo mumblings about how a man should be driving, or bumbling assurances that he was going to pay for everything to regain his honor or something. Though he definitely would be paying for everything. I mean, he'd better. It was just all smiles and thoughtful comments about my appearance. Not overly gross ones. And singing along to the music. Thomas, Hurin, singing along to the music. Amber would be shocked. I've never seen a boy less nervous, to be honest. Once the waiter is gone, I look up and busy myself with the water. Thomas continues to smile pleasantly. I may need to admit to myself that, for years, my favorite part of dates has been the boys' nervousness. Does that make me a monster? Thomas coughs. Let me just... feel like I know you so well, Franky. But every time I think about it, I get more and more anxious. I mean, you could have, I don't feel like I'm good enough to date you, I guess. Better. But he is still smiling. He stops smiling. Perfect. I focus on making myself appear more beautiful, more striking, more confident, more, special. I guess that should do it. It feels a little shitty to use it on him, morality and all that. But to be fair, he asked me out before I'd even made the trade, so his interest is at least genuine. It's not like I roofied him with a love potion or anything. Making myself look better, even with an unnatural trait, as Poco would put it, is hardly much different than spending 6 hours and $200 doing my makeup and getting my look just right. Plus, he deserves it if I make him feel like I'm just a wee bit out of his league. Boys are supposed to be nervous. That's the rules. Also, I have other techniques for making boys defensive, natural ones. You ski? I ask, using my best interrogation room posture. Perfect. I can read the panic on his face as clear as day. He's searching for the correct answer. At one point in my life, I might have found this disturbing, the idea that a boy would pretend to be something other than he is to get me to like him. But I'm not narcissistic enough to believe I never do it to help people figure out they should like me. Everyone does it. It's called putting your best foot forward. I can take it or leave it, he guesses. Bad answer, I say, and revel in the reaction. Last time I'd seen Thomas, at Sheila's, I'd been ready to make a trade. But for some reason, Poco's little friend pieced out before anyone could experiment with him. No worries there. Poco was much less skittish. I did it the second I got home. Do I still need it now? Date is going so well. And our food hasn't even arrived yet. But, I have to admit, my new ability had been useful in getting Dad to lend me the car. Thomas's phone buzzes, twice, but he doesn't take his eyes off me. Good choice, Thomas. Skiing is okay, he says finally, but I prefer to do other stuff in the winter. Good answer, I smile this time, and he relaxes. Who texted? I ask. He lifts his phone, and his brow crinkles up cutely. Luke, he answers, then flips the phone around so I can read the message. Poco is a fairy. Don't make a trade. A fairy? I ask. Don't look at me, Thomas grins. You down for a Scooby Gang meeting later? Yeah. Can you send out the group message? I start to say, but he's already typing. You have to appreciate a boy that anticipates your needs. Chapter 18. Reid. This is harder than I thought. There are so many good powers, but they're all for fighting. And how often do you get in a fight? Sure, you can get pushed or tripped by bullies. And with a bit of a booster, you can meet them after school or something and shut them up. But any serious anime power would straight up kill them. And then it's off to jail or running from the police for life. Best case scenario, I'd be the Punisher. Criminal anti-hero, murdering murderers and mafiosos, cleaning up corruption, too magical to catch. Which sounds pretty cool, but also kind of irreversible? Vigilante doesn't seem like the kind of job you can quit. It's not like we live in a world of ninja clans or piracy or alien invasion. The world is boring. Even if I became the greatest warrior on Earth, the government would dissect me before giving me a uniform and a vibranium shield. Ugh! I've been focusing too much on shonen, the fighting animes for teenage dudes. I have to trade for the perfect power. It has to be perfect.
Perfection is unnatural. Whatever is unnatural is this one's pleasure to bestow.
Shut up! You cannot give me perfection.
This one can.
Dude, I do not believe you. You're like a floating disembodied magic salesman. You wouldn't even have the same definition of perfection that I do. I'd probably end up trapped in a lamp like Jafar.
This one can give you the ability to never be trapped.
Okay, that one sounds tempting. But I need something more active for the first trait. Defense is... well, offense is the best defense, right? Who needs never being trapped powers when you can fire energy beams from your butt? Man, I'm gonna have to message Shawn. What's the best superpower? Shawn is already online, shooting 5th graders with some new FPS I don't own. Probably camping. Dude loves sniper rifles. But he will be useful here. Shawn watches all the anime and hates everything he sees. If a superpower has a flaw, he'll definitely see it. And sure enough, in just a few minutes, Goku, Obby, or Superman, same thing. That's just because he does everything. What's the best single power? He's thinking. No dots. Shawn never does the dots. He can take some time to decide what to write sometimes, but he does it in his head or something and whips it out quick-like. Nothing. Tech is better. Setting? For your comic? Real world. Lazy. Whatevs. Hero or anti-hero? Hero. Team or solo? Is it a team? Mia has her balance and healing, and Franky's friend can see in the dark, apparently. But does that mean I should pick something complementary? Like balancing the party in D&D? I doubt they would even go in for being superheroes. It really isn't that smart of a decision. Heroes suffer. Everyone knows that. Better to just get something that makes normal life easier and more enjoyable. But I can't do that. I would never forgive myself. You can't squander an opportunity to become a real hero like this. Solo. To start. Then you can't fight. Yeah, I got the feeling. You want to fight, though. Of course. That's the cool part. Hero in the real? Gotta be settle. What? Stubble. Subtle, not obvi. Regen or something? Nah, you don't want to live. Forever. That's cringe shit. Gets boring and you would just fall in a hole. Or float in space forever. Or something. Dissected by CIA. No way the CIA would do it. Some X-Files dude then. So just like super tough skin? Can't be dissected. Yeah, that works. Then you train skill, which you love anyway, but not gymnastics. That's dumb.
This one can make you impervious to all harm, all disease, all poison, all—
Shut up, Poco!
This one is not the one you call Poco. That one is evil, deceptive. This one believes in the value of trading and the satisfaction of the human doing the trade. You will trade with this one, not Poco. The human that you call Amber is satisfied with her trades. You will be satisfied as well, Reid.
I need to focus my attention on Shawn now. I want a fun ability, not just death. Elemental form? While Shawn considers this, or ignores me to play his game, I turn my attention back to the voice. Okay, not Poco. What is your name?
What would you call this one, Reid?
I guess that depends on what you are?
We have been called things before. False things.
But what do you call yourselves?
This one does not have a name. You will trade this one your name. Then you will call this one Reid. You will get 2 gifts this way, an unnatural ability and a name to call this one by. You will be satisfied.
But then I wouldn't have a name. Wait, how would that even work? Shawn finally answers, all caps. Trash. He's talking about the elemental form idea. How is that trash? Weakness too easy. Evils could prep, bring fire hoses, or rubber clothes. Or make new trades, I think. Not Poco. Would you not trade with other people if I ask you to? For once the creature is silent. I shift my attention back to Shawn. Invis or super Stealth? Stealth. Shawn starts typing. The dots dance. That's new.
This one does not like being called not Poco. This one does not like being asked not to trade. But what you say is possible.
I have no idea what to call you, though. Can I call you salesman?
This one is not a man.
Okay, how about barker then? Barkers are people that stand outside of stores and games and stuff at the fair and yell at people to come in and spend money.
They trade.
Yes, they trade.
This one may be called Barker.
Okay, thank you, Barker. So, how do I stop you from trading with others?
We will trade. This one will trade you my ability to trade. And then this one will no longer be able to trade. Reid will be able to make trades.
That has to be the worst power I can imagine. No offense. Can these things even be offended? I mean, it's a ridiculous trade. I can give other people powers but get none of my own? Count me out. Shawn's answer pops up on the screen with a chime. Invis is evil. Didn't you see the Hobbit movie? Not much for the time he took. I try to remember the movie he's talking about. It's not evil. You just get to hide. The ring was evil already because it's like a lich thing, you know, from D&D. No, you don't just hide. You like invade people. Privacy, right? Super pervy too. Like you become evil over time. People do it in Fairy Tail all the time. Bad writing. Fairy Tail is trash anime, full of perverts. I hadn't been talking about the anime Fairy Tail, but whatever. Illusion? Genjutsu? Same. Tons of powers are bad, like corrupting, mind control. Obvi mind control, but reading too. Reading is boring, not evil. Mind reading. Oh, lol. Scrying. Any like spy power. If you can see them naked, it's evil. I can feel Shawn's satisfied smirk through the phone. It's fine. That's why I messaged him. He found the flaws. Like reading a review for a video game before you buy it. I just wish it didn't feel so frustrating. So invisibility was out, flying too. No way that doesn't go unnoticed. I could get a bodily enhancement like Mia's. Perfect balance seemed to be working for her, and all she had to trade was her freckles. Enhanced body? Like just better so it's not obvious? Strength is dumb. You would kill puppies when you pet them. 100%. Speed? Speed is strength. Remember? This is true. Mr. Eichen had started off applied science by showing us the Flash could hit harder than the Hulk. There was a formula or something. I open the browser app and do a quick search. There it is. Kinetic energy equals mass times velocity with a little 2 on its shoulder. Wait. Telekinesis. No downside. Boring. So what's better? Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon. What, the girls' show? Shawn begins popping off messages quickly in rapid succession. Transforming, though. You get strength and speed, can't get hurt, but only in form, so you don't squash puppies. And it's a disguise, so CIA clueless. I had quickly rejected the idea of a combat body. Some sort of monstrous change to give me blade arms or prehensile tentacles or something. It was gross, and it was always bad guys anyway because the hero stayed beautiful. But I hadn't considered a temporary transformation. It was shapeshifting. Druid style or why limit? Anything. Like form of ladder, form of car, form of shovel. IDK. Might be OP. Overpowered is the goal here, though. Isn't it? Chapter 19. Amber. Hostessing is a Purcell family tradition, which means that my failure to completely dust, vacuum, and mop every surface, in that order, is surely causing generations of female ancestors to turn in their graves, if not break out of their coffins and walk the land wailing like banshees and cursing my name. Except banshees don't walk. Most of them weren't even born with the last name Purcell. Even Mom went by Victoria Clark before she married my dad. which broke an even older Purcell tradition. If Mom were doing it, she would insist on the same cleansing treatment inside the cabinets and closets that no one but the snoopiest of guests would open. "Amber, be a dear and polish the prescription medications, will you?" But Mom is not here. She's in Alabaster Falls for the craft fair, and Dad always stays late at the office when she's gone. Which Franky knew, because we had planned to eat ice cream and watch Tom Hanks' Meg Ryan movies all night. Plans made before the car wreck, before meeting Mia's Poco. Plans I was really looking forward to, considering how Franky's dating obsession cuts into our one-on-one time. But this is no time to get distracted. I am officially hostessing an official meeting of the Supernatural Powers Club, or whatever we end up calling it. I'm lucky no one has proposed a name yet, or my womanly training would insist on banners and themed decorations, and I look around the dining room. It's, I want to say, passable? The newspapers and letters and my dad's discarded arrangement of jackets, boots, socks, and no less than 3 pairs of slacks have been dumped on the bed in the master bedroom. I can carefully rearrange them back to their previous positions later. I took pictures. I'd wiped down the table and the buffet with wood polish, and the coffee table in the parlor as well. I'm trying to ignore the cat hair on the sofas. No time. Anyone else would call it a living room, or TV room, or family room, but not my mom. Purcells have parlors. The dining table and buffet are set with snacks. Crudité, olives, cheese curds, and lemon bars. In my experience, the lemon bars will be the only thing eaten. Glass pitchers of water, lemonade, and sweet tea line the buffet, with punch goblets. I think they might be crystal. You cannot put out paper plates and solo cups and still qualify as a proper hostess. You just can't. Eric breezes through on his way out to football practice, ruining the lemon bar arrangement and leaving hard chunks of mud scattered on the floor. Not from his shoes. Oh no, that could be interpreted as an accident. The mud comes from his cleats, which he is holding by the laces in one hand, letting them smack together to the rhythm of the rap music coming from his earbuds. He sneers at me and yells a question over the music. "Throwing a party?" He's got the sound up so loud I can hear the bass beat. I point to my ear and he takes them out, repeating himself at the same painful volume. "Yes," I say. "I mean, no, not really, just some friends." "Franky?" "No." "Liar." Eric puts his music back in and grabs another lemon bar, which he holds in his mouth as he continues to clack his cleats across the carpet. I hold myself rigid until he is gone so he doesn't get the satisfaction of seeing me clean up after him, all while eyeing the ottomans and the couches, what Mom calls settees, and considering busting out an army of specialized vacuums to deal with the cat hair. The doorbell rings. Franky and Mia are the first to arrive, which is by design. I'd told Luke and Thomas we were starting at 8:30 because that is what a proper hostess does when her husband is not present. A Purcell woman is never alone with a man who is not her husband. Never. It wouldn't be proper. And a Purcell woman is always proper. Chapter 20. Luke. Okay, before we start, who is all here? I receive nothing but blank looks from the people spread out on Amber's weirdly Victorian couches. Everyone? Mia retorts, to a few giggles. She then attempts to eat a lemon bar in a single bite while scratching her neck furiously. Amber hovers with a cloth napkin she's been trying to give Mia since before I arrived. I mean, of the fairies, how many fairies are here?
Only this one, and this one dislikes being called fairy.
Job's polka, Mia says with her mouth full. Why don't you start by explaining the fairy thing? Franky offers, looking as calm and confident as I have ever seen her. The effect might be a bit ruined by Amber asking if anyone wants iced tea at the same time. Amber, I've told you, Franky reminds her, gently, with a slight pat on the arm. No one up here drinks it with so much sugar. Iced tea is supposed to be, bitter or something. Mia finally swallows. I like sugar. But you're drinking lemonade, Thomas says, grinning at her. I've never seen Thomas so casually happy before. It's a bit unsettling, to be honest. He's acting like I normally act with younger kids. Usually Thomas is awkward around children, and Franky is also different. Thomas and Franky. Did their date go that well? Mia shrugs. I can't have caffeine this late. She reaches for another lemon bar from the plate that she moved off of Amber's weird extra dining room table and brought over to her seat by the couch. The cast on Mia's left leg seems to be making it difficult. I take a few deep breaths and wait. Eventually things should settle down a bit. It's important that people get all the information. Otherwise, who knows what trades they might make without thinking it over clearly.
This one has heard of being called Fairy before. This one prefers to be called Poco.
Well, that certainly clears the conversation. I can probably get my information out to the others better by talking to Poco anyway. What else have you been called before, Poco?
By the speakers of your language, our kind have been called Wisp, Elf, Demon, Brownie, Spirit, Boggart, Goblin, Devil, Grindylow, Pan, Bargus, Nymph, Hob, White, Puka.
I like Wisp, Mia announces. Wait, did you say Poca or Poco? Franky asks.
You have called this one Poco. Others have called this one Puka.
Amber is reading from her phone. Shape-changers from Irish and German folklore. They are said to bring misfortune or fortune. She looks up. But it says they have black fur and feathers? Are some people able to see you? Poco is silent for a few moments before answering.
Not any of your kind.
What happened to the others? I press, not wanting to get too derailed on solving a mystery I already know the answer to. What does it matter what names people used to call Poco? It's pretty clear that people were labeling these genuine supernatural creatures with whatever name was meaningful to them from their superstitions and stories.
Others.
Yeah, Franky names them. Mr. Deep Voice and Mr. Once Emotions.
The younger is experiencing fear. The younger finds this experience to be at odds with speaking with your kind, and at odds with trading with your kind.
Wait, he's scared of us? Mia asks, wide-eyed. You guys can get scared? No, I correct her, thinking out loud. It wanted to experience emotions, remember? Someone must have traded their fear to it, and now that it has fear, it's terrified. Of us. Of everything, probably. Imagine going your whole life without fear, and then suddenly getting it all at once, Amber says, shivering. But I'm not interested in Amber or the fearful fairy. I'm looking at Franky and Thomas. It had to be one of them that traded away their fear. I knew they were acting strangely. Thomas leans back, crinkling the plastic wrapping that Amber's parents were using to protect the couches from stains, and raises his hand in a mock expression of surrender. It was me. I did it. He grins, not bothering to make any excuses. No, not needing to make any excuses. If he has no fear, then he wouldn't worry about the repercussions of us knowing. My mind is racing. He wouldn't be worried about any repercussions for any behavior. I start, completely lost for words. How do you go through life without fear? What does that do to a person, never being afraid of anything? No more trades, Franky says, firmly. Yeah, that's what I agree, I finally manage to get out. She nods and continues. We talk them through first. No one makes a trade without, that thing where we all agree. Unanimous consent? Amber supplies to Franky. Yeah, that. I don't think it needs to be unanimous, Thomas laughs, picking up a lemon bar and handing it directly to Mia, who promptly eats it. Luke would just veto every single trade if we made it unanimous. Simple majority should be fine. No need to vote even, just like approval of 2 others. We should vote, I state evenly, starting to get a firmer grip on the reality that I can no longer rely on Thomas as I always have. We should vote because it means we have a chance to talk it over. One of us could find a problem with the trade the others haven't. What problem? Thomas laughs. Mia, you miss your freckles? Hell no, she answers. Mia, language, Franky responds out of habit. Thomas continues before Mia can make good on the pout forming on her face. Well, I sure don't miss being afraid. Amber, you regret losing whatever it was that you lost? Amber squeaks. This is not the way things are supposed to go. This is not who we are. Thomas is the uncertain one, the one always looking to me, the one who waits for me to think things through and then becomes champion to my conclusions. Clear my throat. We need to consider that Poco and the others are not our friends, that they may have evil intentions toward us. Maybe they want to make trades to get what we have, but maybe their game is, larger. Larger? Asks Amber. More long-term, more cunning, I clarify. What if the point of the trades is not to make us suffer by losing anything, but to curse us with the gifts themselves? How does being able to see in the dark hurt anyone? Thomas asks, winking at Amber. She looks away and finds a spot on the coffee table to rub with a snow-white hand towel. Depends on what is there, in the dark, Mia whispers. It's barely audible, but we all hear it, and it quiets the group. Even Thomas looks to be considering it. What is there in the dark? If fairies are real, then what other stories might... Poco, Amber asks, beating me to it. Is there anything else, that you can see and we cannot?
This one sees much that you do not, Amber.
I mean, like beings, stuff that people don't believe is real.
Your kind has an unlimited capacity for disbelief, Amber.
Poco, I say, slowly and clearly. Are there any beings present in this room that we cannot see, beings that are not like you, and bigger than this lemon bar? I'm a little proud of thinking of the last bit. I can already hear Poco distracting us with references to viruses and bacteria and other super small stuff.
Not any that this one is aware of, Luke.
But are there things like Luke said sometimes? Mia whispers.
Never has this one seen a creature that humans could not, excepting this one's own kind, and those smaller than the food item that Mia enjoys so noisily.
Hey, rude! Okay, I interrupt Mia's protest, having made my decision. I propose that I make a trade which will allow me to see what Poco and his friends actually look like. Their real form. Chapter 21. Mia. My stupid leg won't stop itching, and the itch seems to be spreading. I can feel it on the back of my neck and my arms. Did the itch from my leg cast spread to my arms? Is it even an infection? I try to remember how it was when I broke my arm in the first grade, but everything from back then is a little bit fuzzy. Reid and I had been fishing. I remember that much. Not like proper fishing, but Reid's cousin had given him a pocket knife and we tied it to a long stick to make a spear. But the water had been too dark, so we looked for better water, and there had been this big rock in the middle of the creek, wet and mossy. I slipped.
This one can give you the ability to see our kind, Luke. But the price will be more than the benefit you receive for it. You will be angry with this one.
What? My sister chuckles. You gave Mia the cheat codes for gymnastics for a few freckles? Why would you charge so much for just being able to see stuff? He doesn't want us to know what he looks like, Luke answers her, coldly. I shiver. Luke was so nice before the accident. He always used to take the time to talk to me, even when Franky was trying to rush her friends off before I could even say hi. Thomas was the scowly one. It's like they switched brains. Maybe they did. If Poco has the power to let me take injuries, maybe someone got the power to swap bodies.
This one's appearance is not...
Poco trails off, as if lost for words. Is not pleasant? Amber guesses. Do you need to put on some clothes or something? Thomas jokes, attempting to share a grin with me, but shifting his eyes immediately when he sees my face. Sorry, he finishes.
This one and our kind do not have a consistent appearance.
Franky's eyes narrow. Can you control it? Can you look however you want to look?
No, Franky. We cannot control our appearance. That is controlled by your kind.
Really? I try and concentrate on seeing Poco. Purple raccoon. Purple raccoon. Purple raccoon. Nothing appears in the room. Well, nothing new. Ugh. I scratch my neck as hard as I can without drawing blood. You okay, Mia? Luke asks. Yeah, it's the cats, right? Amber offers. Sorry, Mia. I didn't have time to vacuum. I nod vigorously. Stupid allergies. I actually like cats, too. It's not fair. Kaylee hates them, but she isn't even allergic. She's allergic to shellfish. Much better, in my opinion. Shrimp are gross. If we could only... Wait, of course. Can I trade my allergy to cats to you, Poco?
Of course, Mia.
Can I trade for seeing wisps?
This one does not like being called Wisp, but it is preferable to Fairy.
Well, at least that's settled, Thomas says.
The price for seeing me is blindness to something else.
Like something specific? Amber asks. How about boys, I say. Thomas and Amber laugh. It wasn't a joke. Boys are creepy. They breathe too much or, too heavy. And besides, they act weird now. Back when I broke my arm, they were better. Everyone wrote their names on my cast with, hearts and stuff. Now, well, Kaylee had to go back over some of the things the boys wrote on my legs so Mom wouldn't see. I have, just solid rectangles of color all over the thing.
Color. You will trade your ability to see color. The price is the same whether Mia or Luke chooses to make the trade.
Thomas whistles. Oofta! It's a rough trade, Lukey. I have a feeling the trades will keep getting worse as we go on, Luke murmurs. And I still think it's trying to scare us off. It doesn't want to be seen.
Do you wish to make the trade, Luke? This one believes you need the consent of 2 others.
Luke's eyes narrow. Oh, you believe that, do you? You're just stalling. I will make the trade.
No.
No?
Not until 2 others consent.
Lukey's a big boy, I consent, Thomas announces. Franky? She looks nervous. Franky's eyes shoot back and forth from Thomas to Luke. I vote against it, Amber gulps. This is starting to scare me. Franky? Luke is asking now. See? This is how boys are. They look at you with their creepy eyes and they won't stop until you kick them. But I'm practically trapped on the couch with my broken leg. Kicking is out of the question. Franky? Thomas repeats right after Luke, as if on cue. She's not answering. She looks so vulnerable now, not like how I'm used to seeing her. Franky's always been the strongest person I've known. She's not chill like Dad or bossy like Mom, just, I don't know, strong. But now, all I want to do is protect her. I consent, I say, raising my hand. Someone had to do something.
It is done.
Luke's eyes shoot up, not toward the center of the room where we had more or less been directing our questions to Poco, but above me and behind me, where the wall is. I try to twist up to look, but my stupid leg is making it impossible, so I scratch my neck in vengeance. What do you see? Amber breathes, exhaling the words more than speaking them. Everyone stays silent. Luke doesn't look disgusted or shocked or scared. His eyes move back and forth, up and down, like he's trying to memorize every detail. I keep scratching. Can I trade my allergies for something now? I ask. Mia, please just... Franky starts, but Luke interrupts her. She's beautiful, he says. She? Thomas repeats. Yes, Poco looks human and female, but somehow, well, she feels two-dimensional.
This one takes up no physical space in your world. You see this one as through a window.
That makes sense. She's like a painting on the wall. And she's beautiful? Thomas laughs. So you went from not trusting them to wanting to date them in what, 10 seconds flat? Luke blinks and brings his eyes to bear on Thomas. He clears his throat in that way teachers do when they're waiting for you to see what a brat you're being, but then he apologizes instead. Sorry, I can do better. Poco appears to be using the wall between Mia and Thomas as a window. It has the body of a slim, beautiful adult woman, perhaps mid-20s. Blonde hair. No, not blonde. Golden. It shimmers. The hair, but the kind of the whole thing too. It is wearing like, he coughs, blushing, a white nightgown. And, there is something... water? The hair and the nightgown are moving like they're underwater. Actually, Luke gasps. The Lady of the Lake! What? Thomas offers after a few moments' silence. I've seen this before. It's a picture from a book. Le Morte d'Arthur. Poco looks just like a picture of the Lady of the Lake from a book in the library.
This one told you, Luke. Your kind sees our kind as you wish to see us. Nothing else.
Luke nods, satisfied. It's a fairy. How can its hair be golden? Franky says, a bit accusingly. It's that tone she uses when she knows I've been in her room. If you traded your ability to see color away, how can its hair be golden?
This one's appearance is now the only color that Luke can see.
Luke nods. Everything other than Poco is shades of gray.
The others will perhaps also appear in color to you. This one does not know.
So, Amber starts. What do we gain from this exactly?
You gained the knowledge that this one does not lie.
I refuse to believe that, Luke answers. He looks like I do after eating shrimp, slightly sick to his stomach and not at all happy, but at least the conversation has died down now. Who votes that I can trade my cat allergy for an allergy to shellfish? You've just listened to part 3 of Will of the Wisps. Chapters 15 through 21 of 108 chapters. The book is finished, but the audio is in progress. All of it will be on this channel eventually. I'm looking for a literary agent and publisher, so please tell your friends to get the word out. If you are a literary agent or publisher, please contact me at this channel. It's just me, so I will get your message. And finally, go nuts with comments and criticisms. Help me make it perfect before publication. Thank you.